Hello guys and welcome back. This is Lemeth Gaming as always. I do apologise for the rather large break that I have taken, but I'm coming back fists swinging. I do say a thank you to my friend for these duels in the background, and let's get into today. I also apologise because I might be dipping into Valley Videos thing, but the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I've never seen anything on YouTube that is this theory that I came up with. It is mine. And I worked out all the kinks and the plot holes that some people might get or might try and punch a hole in, if that makes any sense. But basically what I'm aiming for here is to give you another perspective on what could possibly consist in the next DLC, thanks to the ending of Ashes of Ariandel. Because as stated, in the end of Ashes of Ariandel, the long white haired girl stated that her uncle was out to claim the Dark Soul. Now that answers a lot of questions, but also gives us a lot. It gives us more questions than it answers. So this is something that I'm going to try and address. I'm not too sure how this will work, but basically we'll be addressing Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, working our way through each of them and taking out key points to how the Dark Soul can, might, and will return in the possible form of Manus. I think that mostly makes sense. So, starting off with Dark Souls 1, what we have is Manus. Now, if we take out the gameplay perspective, if we take out the gameplay and focus purely on story, if you look at it in such a way as this, whenever we killed Manus himself and the Abyss dissipated, we claimed his soul. Now that was from a gameplay point of view, it's a reward, but from a lore point of view, it has significantly more impact than you might think. Moving on to Dark Souls 2, we meet what is left of Manus. Excuse me. Now, what I mean by this is whenever we destroyed Manus, his soul fragmented into what we know from Dark Souls 2 into 4 pieces. These pieces took form in the forms of Nishandra, Alsana, Alana, and Nadalia. These are the 4 daughters of darkness, 4 daughters of the Abyss. So these are what is left of Manus from Dark Souls 1. Now, in the base game of Dark Souls 2, we defeat Nishandra, claim her soul as a boss reward. So we do. Then the Crowns came out. The 3 Crown Trilogy came out, which added even more depth to the storyline of Dark Souls 2. Now, even though a lot of people will give Dark Souls 2 a lot of guff for being too straightforward, the one thing that I think they did was properly hide their true intentions for what could possibly happen. Now, what I'm getting at with this is with the Crown Trilogy, the main aspect of the Crowns Trilogy that every single person focused on was the crowns themselves. Now, what I mean by this is, yes, the crowns are important, but there's another aspect that that everybody forgot about. And I'm surprised nobody ever actually pinpointed on this, but it is interesting. Now, we know that Manus' soul fragmented into 4 parts, from what we know from Dark Souls 2. Now, if we take an individual look at those 4 parts, they all represented emotion of Manus. Now, if we take them each at a time, Nishandra, we kill her, job done. We claim her soul, stop her from taking the throne of want. Alana, the squalid one from the sunken crown, we kill her and claim her soul. With them two dead, we claim 2 crowns. Then we claim Nadalia's soul. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Whenever we found Nadalia's soul, it was fragmented into 12 parts. Once you claim all 12 parts, it remakes itself into one solid soul, creating the soul of Nadalia itself. Do you see where I'm getting at this? And then Alsana. Alsana doesn't want any harm to come to you, but she does ask a rather tedious and ridiculous request, gameplay, but has massive story impacts. Being the fact that with the 50 life souls that you claim for her, yes, you do get the armor, but in my theory, it is a theory, she uses those 50 life souls to create a soul of her own to give you the last piece of the puzzle. Now, at this point in the game, you have all 4 crowns and all 4 fragments of Manus. Now, we already know from Nadalia that once every piece of a soul is reunited, you get the full soul back. So we technically have all the shards of Manus by the end of Dark Souls 2. Now, the crowns play a massive part in this due to the fact that the crowns cure the curse for us. Now, not only are we cured of the curse and back to becoming human, we also have a full, complete soul of Manus. So we do. And then that ends Dark Souls 2. In Dark Souls 3, with the help of the DLC, excuse me again, we know the Dark Soul returns. We've seen it. The Abyss is technically rampant. So it is in Dark Souls 3. Due to the fact there's dark pyromancies running around, dark sorcerers running around. With the help of the DLC, our last boss, after Father What's-His-Face is killed, you see what... So with the rot and the darkness setting in, it nearly edges upon the return of Manus himself. So it does. And that's where my theory goes. Because at the Dark Souls 2 is key for the DLC of Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 2, even though after all the guff it got in terms of lore being too straightforward, it did its job in hiding what could possibly be its true intention from the start. You see where I'm getting at this point? I analysed this to damn near perfection. And I know there'll be, somebody's going to try and shoot plot holes saying the humanity has nothing to do with Manus. Technically it is. Manus created humans. Now, we're human again, gives Manus the perfect host for what his powers could unleash upon the world of Dark Souls. So, technically, Dark Souls 2 is rather the biggest key for Dark Souls 3. Because at the beginning of Dark Souls 3, not very many people understood the exact storyline to it. but in my opinion, I think Dark Souls 2 may play a bigger part in the next DLC than most people are thinking. So yes, guys, there's my method in madness. So it is. That is my method in madness. If this video is well responded, if I get a good response from this video, basically, I will see if there's any more cuckoo theories that it might come up with, but I will leave that all to the other lore uploaders. I just sort of thought to myself, nobody else has done it, so I may as well give it a shot, so to speak. So guys, this has been Loudmouth Gaming. I hope you have enjoyed, and guys, I shall see you all in the next video. Bye! As a bonus note, me and my friends were talking about the DLC, and we had noticed something with Freda, Black Flame Freda, to be quite precise. It shows in many ways, because if you look at the flames, the black pyromancies, Black Flame Freda is an unkindled ash. Now if you look at an ember, and you look at a humanity, imagine combining the two, and then you get Black Flame Freda. So it's just as a bonus note, but it also appears that humanity may also have a mild effect on embers as well. That there's just a little bit of food for thought, but that was just our theory, so it was. So guys, this is the end of the video. I hope you've all enjoyed, and goodbye again.